guys, my name's Ebony and today we're going to be talking about everything getting ready for 2026. So I love this time of year and I thought we'd all sit down together, get in some comfy clothes, relax and plan our 2026 so we can become our best selves for 2026 and achieve all of our goals and have our dream life. I'm so excited. I've been using the same goal setting planning routine for the last probably 5 years and I've achieved some amazing things. I've achieved everything that I've set out to do. I went solo traveling this year, which was a huge thing on my list. I've started a business, I've grown that business. I have built a beautiful community online of over 500k followers on TikTok, which has been amazing. So all I'm saying is that I'm not perfect, but I think this routine is pretty perfect to get you ready for the new year and actually stay on track with your goals, because setting goals is one thing, but actually working towards the goals is another thing. So today I'm going to break that down all for you. We are going to reflect on our 2025. We're going to think about our dream life. We're going to set our goals for 2026 together, and we're going to put a little bit of a plan in place so that we can achieve everything that we set out to do next year. I'm actually so excited because I'm going to be doing all these steps alongside you guys. Get into something comfy, get your favorite beverage, a little snack, and let's get started in planning our 2026. So let's go! Okay, let's get started on this. I hope you're comfortable and ready to go. This makes me so excited. So this is exactly how I plan my goals every single year, and I'm really excited to take you along with me. Before I do anything else is reflect on 2025. So that's the thing we need to do before we start anything, because I don't know about you, but my 2025 was crazy and so many random things happened, and I was like really on track with my goals for some points, and then some points I was just off doing random side quests. So we need to check in with ourselves and actually see what we achieved, how we achieved it, and what we can do different next. So this is exactly what I usually do. I have my 2025 goals written in a note, which I'm going to pull up right now, and I have it pinned in my notes tab so that I always go back and look at it. Sometimes I would forget about it, but it's okay. We're not perfect. But I will look at my 2025 goals. Here they are. Boom. And what I will do is I will literally annotate all of my 2025 goals. So let's see. The first one is decide on a budget, stick to it, and review it monthly. I feel like that wasn't a very good goal for me, so I'm going to annotate it. I'm going to say stuck to this for 2 months of the year, worked well, blah, blah, blah. Do that for every single one of your 2025 goals. If you didn't have any 2025 goals written down, just write a brain dump of how you think 2025 went for you. I think it's really important to reflect because you can't just forget about 2025 and then start afresh. It's not really how it works. We have to see how we work. So I'm just going to spend some time doing that. I'm going to annotate all of my 2025 goals, and then we're going to ask ourselves a few reflection questions. So let me do that. Okay, I really took my time with that, but that was so eye-opening. I learned so much about things that I didn't think that I actually did. I was like, oh, I didn't achieve anything this year, but doing this actually makes you realize how much you've achieved in a year. I really took my time with it. I went through every single goal one by one. I set a lot of goals with a lot of different sections, which I'll show you how I do that in a second, but very, very interesting. I'm actually getting really excited for next year, and I feel like I've achieved so much. But now we are going on to the next stage of the 2025 recap. So now what I do is I take all of that. I literally took so many notes. Like my notes is full of just blah, 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 thoughts about what happened last year. Me annotating my 2025 goals. Now we're going to ask some questions to ourselves about that. These are the things that I ask myself about my goals to see if I'm on track and also to see what I can carry over for next year. So the first question is, what did I achieve this year? So think about some things like, I don't know, I traveled overseas for 6 months. I achieved starting a podcast with my friend. I signed with a new manager. All those things are things that I achieved. What did I not achieve this year? One thing for me that I found really hard was waking up as soon as my alarm went off. I would snooze it all the time and I didn't want to do that. And that's just kind of something that I didn't achieve. And then I also wanted to start going to therapy, which is really random, but it was something that I also didn't achieve. Another goal that I didn't achieve this year was reaching 100k followers on Instagram. I'm nowhere even close. And I really just had to think to myself, okay, what was holding me back with that? And I've actually worked through it, so I do know what was holding me back for that. I had to think, okay, there's got to be something in my way, because I thought, oh my gosh, I'm just procrastinating so much. But really, that is not the truth at all. Basically, I was too scared to post on Instagram. That's why I wasn't doing it. If you know me, I post on TikTok all the time. Like, I literally post 3 times a day sometimes. I love TikTok. It's my safe space. And then I thought, okay, I need to diversify my platforms. I need to reach different audiences. So that was why I set that goal for this year, to reach 100K on Instagram. I was literally just scared of what people would think about me. And I actually worked through this in about September and thought, Ebony, you already post so much on TikTok. You're literally putting your life out there to so many people. Why do you care what people on Instagram care about you? I was also like a little bit scared because I'm like, I can't pose. I'm going to have to post static images. I don't know what to do. And I just started posting and it's going really, really well. So that was one thing that I didn't achieve, and that's the reason why. I started posting really consistently in about September, and that's why I've grown my following. I think at the start of the year I was at about 5K followers, so we got somewhere. Something is better than nothing. Now, when you look at the stuff that you didn't achieve, don't be too hard on yourself, because we are not perfect. But there's always a reason for why you didn't achieve something. So look at your goal and think, okay, why did I not achieve this? What was holding me back? And what could I do differently next time to achieve this goal? There's always a reason for everything. Okay, the next question I asked myself is, what could I learn from this year that I can bring into next year? So these are just little lessons. It can be, I don't know, my mom told me this, or I learned this from traveling, or I did this. Let me think of one for me. One thing I learned this year is that I can't do everything all at once. I always try and do everything all at once, and I'm like, Ebony, you're only so young. I don't know why I'm in a rush. So this year I've kind of taken a step back and taken things a little bit slower, which I've actually really enjoyed. So that was something I learned from this year. The next question is, what did I achieve that wasn't on my goals list? I think this is really important to answer as well, because sometimes you can fully stray off your goals. Like, I went and lived overseas for 6 months this year, and a lot of my goals I really strayed off from the start of the year. Like, I just think I wasn't realistic, because I knew I was going to be traveling a lot, and I just set a lot of random kind of home goals, if that makes sense, that wasn't really aligned. So I definitely strayed off my goals. I was only going to go overseas for 4 months. I ended up going for 6 months, so that was a pretty cool achievement. I volunteered on a farm for a month, which is something that I never thought that I would do, so that was an amazing achievement. I did a pastry course in Paris. That was an amazing achievement. So those are all things that weren't on my goals list. I also signed with a really amazing manager, which I really love. I got a YouTube editor, she's amazing. So those are things that I achieved that wasn't on my goals list. Those are all the questions that I'm just going to take a moment and answer those and have a little think about it, and then I'll come back. Okay, that was really, really interesting, and I'm feeling even more clear, ready for next year. But now is the fun part. We're gonna have a little bit of fun before we get to thinking about next year. So this is the part where you grab your phone and you literally go through your whole camera roll from last year. That seems a little bit excessive. You don't have to go through your whole camera roll, maybe your favorites, I don't really know. But what I do is I grab my phone, I open usually videos or photos, and then I go through and I favorite all of my favorite moments. I actually love this. I'm gonna go right all the way back to January, and I'm going to favorite all my photos. I can't wait for this, because I traveled to so many different countries, and doing this can just really see how much you've actually achieved in a year, because sometimes we can forget that. You can even do it really fast. You'd be like, oh yeah, that one, that one, that one. And then, call me basic, but every single year I always make and with that, the 2025 season has come to an end. And then I make the little transition. So I'm actually going to search up what that is this year, because I haven't seen anything. 25 season comes to an end.
The 2025 season comes to an end. Good night.
Oh my god. I don't know what are people using. I like to see what people are using, and then I make one that's kind of trending, which I know you don't have to follow trends, but I love it. You can even make your own little video or your own collage for yourself. It doesn't have to be so public, but I kind of like to. I like to do a little post every year on my Instagram and my TikTok. Basically, because I am a content creator and I take people on my life, I feel like making a recap at the end of the year is just so special, because everyone's a part of my story, and it's kind of concluding the storyline for the year and getting ready to start afresh with new content next year. So I really like to do that. I just found a couple more. I think this one's really fun.
The 2025 season comes to an end. Good night.
It's so cool. There's so many. So anyway, I'm going to import some things.
With that, the 2025
Sorry, I'm having so much fun.
comes.
Oh, that's so like nostalgic. I'm having so much fun. So basically I'm just going to import all the videos into here and make a little recap, and then you can watch that over on my TikTok or my Instagram when it hits the new year. I probably won't post it until maybe like the 28th or 29th. We will see. Okay, so the basic idea of that is done for me, so I'm really excited. I'm going to play around with it a little bit more, but now I want you to go back to your 2025 vision board if you made a 2025 vision board. This is always the background of my laptop and the background of my phone, so I'm going to pull that up and we're going to go through it and see what I achieved this year. I'm so excited because I put some really specific images that I literally tried to recreate this year. Oh my god, I'm so excited. So this was my vision board this year, and I think I was able to achieve pretty much most of this. Let me show you. This image here was me in my travel era. This year was meant to be my travel era. I went to Greece, which is that picture. I went to the Dolomites, which is this picture here. I literally went to that exact building in London. I went to Paris. These are Paris. That was also the Dolomites. Yay. This was Italy, I went there, the Dolomites. That was like on the top of my list and I definitely went there. This is just me like traveling with friends. I'm not gonna go through every image, but yeah, I went to all of these places, which is so cool. Japan, I did cooking classes in every country that I went to, which is those just there. And this is like my London era and making friends in London, and I made some a really good group of friends in London that I'm so grateful for and I miss a lot. Then just here is me doing a lot of cooking, which definitely did happen this year. And then let's have a look up here. Yeah, just hanging out with friends and stuff. I actually took a little bit of a break from a lot of business stuff. I did less than I usually do, so I was able to hang out with friends a lot more. And then this is my content creator era. I feel like I've taken it way more as a job this year, content creating, which has been amazing. This was starting a podcast with my friend. This was reaching 1 million followers on TikTok, which didn't happen, but it's always a goal that I can still work towards. Then this here is discipline and consistency, and there's pictures of dancing and walking and just like fitness era, and I definitely got into my gym era at the end of this year, which was really fun. I did a bunch of dance classes when I was living in London. So that is the basic review of my vision board. I just want to show you how powerful a vision board is. Oh, and this is my little quote for traveling: be scared and do it anyway, which I definitely did. I went out of my comfort zone so much this year, and then yeah, I'm grateful for all that I have. That was my vision board for this year. I'm actually shocked at how much I actually achieved this year. I'm so grateful. I just think this year was such a good year. Okay, phase 1 is done. Let's move on to phase 2, which is your dream life. Let me explain. So now we've reflected on the past, on this year. Before we reflect on the future, so next year, we're going to look way ahead into the future and think about our dream life. I think this is so important and a step that not many people actually do when they're thinking about their goals for the next year. I think this is so important to stay on track. So let me tell you, I did this when I was 18 years old. I had just graduated school and I did this exercise. So I'm going to let you guys know what this exercise is. And basically, I want you to sit down, have your notes tab open or have a pen and paper, and you are going to write down, if there was no limitations at all, what would your dream life be and how would you live your life? What person would you be and what would you be doing? So I did this when I was 18 and I think I wrote something like, oh, I would have a bakery, I'd own a shop front, and there would be trucks driving around with my name on it, delivering cupcakes and stuff. That's still in my mind. Like, that is still a dream of mine that I'm working towards every single year. So I think this is so effective. So yeah, sit down, visualize your dream life, and write down the steps that you would have to do to achieve that dream life if nothing was ever to get in the way, like no limitations at all. Okay? So do that. I've already done this. And then once you've written everything, like the person you want to be, the kind of work you want to be doing, how you want your day to go, you can go as in-depth as you like, or you can just write a few sentences. It's no stress at all. But now you're going to look back at this year and think, am I working towards this? Reflect on if your goals are actually tracking towards your dream life. Because if they're not, you have to take a look at your life and think, what am I doing? I actually saw this quote. It said, if someone was to follow you around for a day, would they believe that you're serious about your goals and that you're trying to become the person that you want to be? I don't know if that's the exact way to say it, but that's how I'm explaining it. So yeah, think about it. If someone was to literally follow you around, would they believe that you're tracking towards your goals, or would they believe that you're slacking off? Sorry, that was like a tough love. But you know what I mean? This was a huge eye-opener for me, because sometimes I'll procrastinate, or I won't work towards this, or I'll chop and change. I'm doing this one day, I'm doing that one day. But if someone was to actually look at me and think, Ebony, like, what are you doing with your life? You know, sort of thing. So think of it almost like a trajectory. Like that is where you want to be. You're here now. So then you need to work out what goals every year do I need to be doing to achieve that goal in like 5 years. You know what I mean? And then break it down even further. What do I need to be doing monthly to achieve that goal in 5 years? What do I need to be doing weekly? What do I need to be doing daily? I think it's just such a good way to think about what you want to do in your life. And I know it's led me to be less confused, because I know being in your 20s is such a confusing time. But when you have this huge crazy goal that you want to achieve, you kind of know what you're working towards, and then what you do, your actions, whether you're in the right career, whether you're, doing the right job, living in the right area, all dictates what you're going to achieve and how you're going to achieve this goal. So I think that's really important to have a little bit of a path set out in front of you, so you feel like you're on the right path and you're not like lying to yourself every day, if that makes sense. I don't know. Anyway, I think that's really helpful. So if you haven't done the Dream Life exercise, definitely do that before we move on to the next step, which is goal setting. I know it's probably felt like ages to get to this place, but we need to set all the systems in place before we think about next year. Okay, it's goal time! I'm so excited. So we are going to be setting the best goals ever so that we can be our best self ever for next year. This gets me so excited and pumped. I'm really excited. Okay, so the first step that I do is I brain dump on all the goals that I want to achieve this year. All of my intentions, the person that I want to be, the kind of life I want to live. It can be as absolutely crazy and audacious as, is that a word? Audacious? It can be as crazy as you want at this point. No limitations. Write down every single goal that you want to achieve this year. You don't have to be realistic yet at this step. Just write it all down. Brain dump. So I'm going to do that. Also, make sure you're looking back at your answers to the questions about this year's goals, and make sure you write these goals based off that as well. Okay, I've literally written down every single goal or idea that has come into my head that I want to achieve, as crazy as it is. So I've done that. Now this is the next step that I do. It's the most fun step, but it's also the most important step to do. And that is to make these goals into SMART goals, because if you don't know, SMART goals are specific, measurable, achievable or attainable, relevant, and time-based goals. So we need to make our goals all of that. Otherwise, there's kind of no point, because they're just this random written thing on your laptop and you're like, how the heck do I do that? And it's not really a good goal. So firstly, what I do is I write categories to put the goals into. So my categories are always health, financial, personal development, business, and social media as well. And then under business, sometimes I have a few subheadings, but it depends on what you're doing. Business could also be work related, like say, I want to get a promotion for work or something like that. And I just have social media because I do social media as a job. So you also don't need to have those. Those are just my categories that I base my goals off every single year, and it works really well. You could also have travel and stuff, but I kind of just put that in personal development because I'm like, it is basically for me. I don't know. You're going to categorize all your brain dumped goals into these specific categories, because then you can actually see, okay, this is what I want to achieve for this specific thing. And it kind of, I don't know, I just find categorizing it really helps. Now you're going to make them SMART goals. So I'm going to take one of my goals and do an example for you. So my goal. All right, let's use the example of buying a new car. So I have a car. It literally cost me 2,000 Australian dollars. It's very cheap. It breaks down all the time. Well, actually, it's pretty good. Okay, I won't be so mean to her, but I feel like I want a new car. So that is one of my goals for this year. It's not like top of my list, but I'm like, it would be nice. So I'm going to make this one of my goals. So let's think about it in a smart way. How do I make buy a new car a SMART goal? All right, let's go. Specific. I'm going to make it more specific. I'm going to write I'm not going to say new car because I'm fine with secondhand. So I'm going to say buy a Mazda. I want a Mazda. And I'm going to say off marketplace. That is 2015 or older. That is specific. Okay. Then measurable. Okay. So I'm going to figure out how to make this measurable. I'm going to say measurable saving 15,000. And then so far it's buy a Mazda off marketplace that is 2015 or older by saving 15,000. Then I'm going to write achievable. I think that is achievable for me. At least by the end of the year, okay? At least by the end of the year. Realistic? Okay, is it realistic? Let's have a think. Do I have any other big purchases that I need to make next year? I don't think so. Other than my goals of going overseas, I think I can keep my purchases to a pretty low amount so that I'm able to save that. So think to yourself, is it realistic? And then time-based. It's always important to have a time-based thing. So I don't want a car really, really soon. I'm fine with my car so far. But I think by next year I need to start thinking of getting a new car. So I'm going to say buy a Mazda off Marketplace that is 2015 or older by saving $15,000 by the end of November 2026. So that is the SMART goal. Buy a Mazda off Marketplace that is 2015 or older by saving $15,000 by the end of November 2026. That is one of my goals, and that's how you make your goals SMART, because that is a really specific goal. Because if I was just like buy a new car, there's no way to work towards that. That's just such an open goal. How am I going to do that? If I put that on my list, there's no way I'm achieving it at all. Let's be real. Like, there's no, oh, I want this car. Like, it's just so up in the air. It's not even measurable at all. So that is how you make a SMART goal. So do that for every single one of your goals. I'm going to quickly do that now. Okay, they're all categorized. They're all SMART goals now. We are almost on the home stretch to this. But what I do is in each section, I actually bold a few goals that are the most important to me. Because then I think, okay, if I come back next year and I haven't achieved any goals, but I've achieved these goals that are bold, then I'll be happy, you know? Otherwise, I'm like, I didn't achieve much. So that's just something that I need to do to make myself feel quite fulfilled and happy, because I do usually set quite a few goals. And if I have a few that are bold, it's like those are my focus. And at least I can think at the very start of the year, okay, I'm going to focus on these first. So priority type vibe. So I don't really think many people do that, but that's what I do. So I'm going to bold a few of these goals that I want to achieve. I'm actually so excited. So another thing that I do, because I do work in social media, is I write a list of brands that I want to work with. These are usually kind of crazy. I'm actually going to tell you 2 brands. These are the top 2 brands I want to work with. Kentucky, because I went on a Kentucky tour when I went overseas for the first time and it was the best thing ever. And then KitchenAid, because I use my KitchenAid all the time and I love her so much. So Kentucky and KitchenAid are the 2 brands I really want to work with, but I'm just going to go ahead and write down a few more just so I can look back at this and think, oh, look at me, I achieved this, you know what I mean? So you can make your own list of specific things as well. It's just kind of a little random add-on, but another thing I do is write places I want to travel to, just so I have that kind of in my mind, so I can start thinking of when I'm actually going to take time off to actually go to those places, and when I can plan them into my calendar, just so I can have like an overarching view of what I want to do next year. So I'm going to do that. And depending on how your feelings are with using AI platforms and things like that, you can actually get AI to help you make your goals into SMART goals. Like, you can be like, ask me questions about the person I want to be next year, like all that, and then generate me goals and things like that, which I know a lot of people do, but I personally find it better and more personalized to write my own goals. But it's definitely a good tool if you're just sitting here stuck, because it's better than just kind of not having any goals, you know what I mean? Anyway, okay, the next thing I do that I actually did for the first time last year is write an affirmation for the year. And that was something so helpful to me. It was something that I said when I was really nervous or I was overthinking something. I said it a lot when I was overseas. I would wake up in the morning and I would say it. And I'm going to tell you it because I feel like it's pretty personal, but I don't really mind. But my 2025 affirmation was, I am confident in my body, fulfilled in my connections, free from scarcity, and passionately doing what I love every single day. I actually really love this affirmation. I feel like I don't want to change it too much for next year. But having that overarching affirmation was so helpful, because it was just this thing that was just almost like the quote of my year, of how I want to act, of how I want to feel. And it just made me very confident, especially when I was studying abroad. I would like wake up and I was like nervous for the day, and then I would say that and I'm like, it's okay, I've got this, you know, like back yourself. So make a little affirmation based off the goals you want to achieve. It could be like, I'm the best, I'm so confident, I'm gonna get a promotion this year. Or it could be like, I'm so grateful for what I have, I'm grateful to live here, you know. It's just something that's really aligned to you and your goals. Very, very handy. The next thing that I do is create a dream day schedule. I saw someone do this on TikTok last year, and I did it last year for the first time. But what they did is they put all of their goals, their brain dumps, their goals from last year, their questions, everything that basically we've just done, that we've just worked through. They basically put that in chat, and they said, considering all of this information, what would be my dream day schedule? and then you can always tailor it from there. But basically it just shot out an example of my dream day, and it was things like wake up at this time, it was 2 hours of work on this thing, 2 hours of work on this thing, then I do this, then I check in with my family, then I bake this, and then it was just so cool to see, because I always find it hard to fit everything in one day, especially because I'm always doing so many random different things. So that was really handy to see, and that's just a cool little optional thing that you can do, because it really helps to actually see how you would actually be taking out these tasks and these goals, because sometimes it can feel just so like, oh, I really want to achieve that, but it's not possible. You kind of convince yourself that it's not possible, but it is. Don't worry about it. You got this. We're moving on to the next thing that is very, very important. So now I have all of my goals. I'm very happy with them, very excited, very keen, feeling very excited for next year. But now that you have these goals, you need to have a way to track them and to check in with yourself to know that you're actually achieving these goals. So you need to have a system in place. I'm actually still working out my system, I'll be really honest with you. Last year, I actually just had my goals pinned as a note at the top of my notes tab. It just said 2025 goals and it was pinned, and I would just go back and just read over it every now and then. And I feel like I want a little bit of a better system, so I'm going to look into Notion and see if there's some kind of goals tracker or things like that I could use, because I think that would be really handy. But have a look, there's probably Etsy templates that you can use Excel, but do a bit of research on how you're going to track your goals. It could be something easy as having a little poster up in your room with a habit tracker that you tick off or something like that, but just really have some kind of way that you check in with yourself. One thing that I did in 2025 that actually really helped me was every single month I would go back and I would ask myself a few questions about my goals, like, do you think I'm tracking towards my goals? What is something this month that surprised me? What is something this month that I'm really proud of? Things like that. So that was a way that I kind of checked in with myself, but I definitely want to figure out a better system. But I'm saying get a system that works for you, even if it's just journaling. Like, how do I think I'm tracking with my goals? Am I the person I want to be? Am I acting the way I want to act? Am I living the life the way I want to be? So have a way to check in. Okay, and the last bit, I think this might be the most fun thing. And I've seen a lot of YouTube videos recently that are like, don't just make a cute little mood board, don't do that, don't make a vision board. And I'm like, that is like my most favorite thing. As you saw before, it actually works. Like, did you see my vision board that I showed you? I achieved so many things off that vision board, and I'm like so happy with it. So I wrote a little instructions here on how to make a vision board, and I'm going to read that out to you because I'm about to make my vision board. But basically, you want to go to Pinterest and find any image that aligns with your goals and also has the vibe of what you want to achieve next year. And then save that to a big board that's like 2026 vision. So I am going to go to Pinterest right now. Oh, I'm so excited. And I'm literally going to search up. Okay, let's use the car goal again. Let's go new car. And then you might put an image like this one just here. I might not use that one because I'm not getting a new car. Like, make it realistic, you know? And then, where do I want to travel this year? Oh yeah, I really want to travel to the Philippines. So, Philippines. So something like this. Something where you can actually imagine yourself doing that. I love that one. Then maybe, I'm actually graduating uni this year. So, I might put something like, oh, I really like that picture. This. So cool. So just add all the photos that are related to your goals in there, or even just the vibe that you want to live. And then what I do is I also save quotes that aligned with the intentions that you want to live by. So in 2025, my kind of intentions was, okay, this is my travel era. I want to be in my travel era, but I'm also a bit scared. So one of my quotes was, be scared and do it anyway. And then I also wanted to focus a bit on my health. So I did discipline and consistency, because I just found that was really motivating to me. So yeah, anything like that. Even events that you know are happening. Like, I know I'm graduating, but I'm still going to put that on my vision board just to excite me a little bit, you know? Okay, then what you want to do is you want to narrow down all of the photos that speak to you the most. So look at your whole board and then narrow it down. I think you can make like a sub board in a board, which is what I usually do on Pinterest. I put 2026 vision final or something like that. Like, these are the final photos that I'm going to be using. Then you want to save all of those images to your laptop, and then you're going to go on Canva. And I literally have all my vision boards in this one document from over the years. But what I do is I think it's just a desktop wallpaper template, and then I add all my photos, and then I just make them really small, and then I literally just put them around, almost as if you were cutting pieces out of a newspaper and you were sticking it on and making a collage. I used to do that all the time when I was little. Or another option is I see people make physical vision boards, like they physically cut things out of magazines and stuff, which is also helpful. But I like to do it this way just because I feel like I can get exactly what I want on my vision board and put it in. So yeah, so do that. And I like to pop in a few quotes here and there. You can even put photos of your life that you're really enjoying right now. Like I remember a few years ago I put a photo of my family because I just thought it was really cute, and it just shows that family is very top of mind for me. I mean, it still is no matter what, but I just had it on my vision board that year. So yeah, that is how I make my vision board. Once you're done with that, you can save it, and then what I do is I put it as my laptop screen, and I put it as my phone wallpaper, and then some people actually stick it up on their wall, but I find it's just as helpful just to have it right on my laptop screen, ready to go. So this is the exciting part, like get excited. Be excited for this. It should be exciting. You should be excited for your life. So just got a bit deep there, guys, but yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys are feeling all prepped and ready for 2026. This year is going to be a good year because we're going to make it a good year, and we're going to achieve our goals. We're going to achieve everything that we set out to do. I hope this was really helpful. This is just what I do every year, but I thought I would share it because this is just what I do to plan my new year, and you don't always have to do this in the new year. You can do this at any time of the year. I just find it very helpful around January because I have a bit of downtime to set really specific and clear goals. But I hope this was helpful, and if you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to put on the notification bell and also subscribe so we can talk more about this. This is the stuff that really lights me up. But I'm wishing you all the best for 2026. We've got this, and we're gonna have the best year ever. Have the best day, guys. Bye!